Hi, gonna finally do a review of this beer I've been holding on to for a while now. It's just Genealogy, not Genealogy of Morals, from Farmstead. So, Genealogy of Morals is the bourbon barrel aged version of this. But this is just the regular, straight up version, and so it's an Imperial Stout with wheat and coffee. And you kind of rarely see Imperial Stouts advertised as being brewed with wheat, though a lot of them do use wheat in one way or another, but I guess this one really focuses on it. And there is coffee in it. I had a bottle of this after I got it last spring. Thought it was really good. I was really glad I was able to buy it because I don't think you really see just the straight unbarreled Genealogy very much. This is the batch that's from February 21st of 2018. And I definitely wanted to drink this while I was still relatively young because I wanted to have the coffee flavors and all of the rich sweet qualities still in there. That's what I really liked about it when I had it months ago. And I've always noticed that when I've aged stouts, they tend to lose some of their body and their richness and definitely lose any added flavorings. And it's 9.5%. When I first got this, it was unclear how strong it was, but now on Untappd it says 9.5%, and I'm pretty sure that's correct. Very dark still. Good amount of carbonation on there. Ooh, you can see lots of nice cascading bubbles in there. Looked very thick from the way it poured and the way the bubbles came up. But plenty of carb happening with this beer. I think the last bottle I had, I actually drank like half of it and put a cork in it, and it was still really good the next day. Whew. That is huge on lots of different complex malts. And I got my cat back here, as you can see. See what he thinks of it. He doesn't usually drink beer. It smells very nice. It's got lots of creamy malted milk ball notes in there. It's not all big char and smoke, but it does have that going on. There's some woody smokiness, and it's not overwhelmingly coffee in the aroma. It seems like it blends in really well, and that head is just sticking around real hard. I wonder if it's a little more carb than I would like a big stout like this. I'm getting berry notes. I guess it does smell like coffee, but it smells like a fancier, sort of lighter roast, fruitier coffee. I'm getting lots of bittersweet, fancy chocolate too. But like wild, dark dried berries in there, almost cherry. Not tart though. Really complex aroma. It's hard to pick everything out, and this is also super cold. I took it straight out of the fridge. But it's still got some nice rich creaminess I can smell. It's gonna definitely be nice and rich and sweet on the tongue. I definitely get more coffee and bitterness on the tongue. Ooh. And some real char comes in the aftertaste. Yeah, that's where the roast comes in. Ooh. Didn't really smell that much, but it definitely gets more bitter on the tongue. Maybe it's not quite as full-bodied as it was when I had it first, and that head is still sticking around. It could be just how it's so cold and the high carbonation right now that's making it not seem as full-bodied. Though it is 9.5%, it's not huge by Imperial Stout standards today, and it's not really made to be a pastry stout, super sweet stout, which I'm fine with that. As long as these aren't just like soy sauce, extremely bitter and like black IPA type bitterness, I usually can enjoy an Imperial Stout. Yeah, it's not really thick and syrupy, but it's got plenty of body, and it's really smooth and velvety on the tongue. And it has some weight to it. Like, when you let it sit on your tongue, you can feel some heaviness happening, but it's not sticking to my tongue like syrupy sweet, and like a lot of people prefer these days. Though on the lips I'm getting a little bit of stickiness. Well, it's weird how the aroma is so fruity and so much like, you know, fancy chocolate and fancy light roast coffee with a little bit of that malted milk ball I talked about, because with this much barley malt, it's going to remind me of some Whoppers, because in malted milk they actually do use barley malt. It's a mixture of like powdered milk and sugar and cocoa and yeah, barley malt, dried barley malt. So we've all actually been consuming barley since we were kids, not really known it. Yeah, this really brings in fruity notes, sweet mocha notes, but then some nice roast in the finish that, and it's just a hint of maybe a hint of our herbaceous hop in the finish too. That, yeah, leaves you with a little bit of heat and just enough dryness. I'm getting a little bit of bitterness lingering on the tongue, drying it out a little bit. But I got used to that roast at first after the first sip. Now it's kind of just what I'm expecting from Imperial Stout. Head hasn't even totally died down yet. But that's really palatable and very nice. I love this beer. It's been getting really pretty good reviews for a non-barrel aged big stout. A lot of my friends on Untapped have been like, whoa, this is really good. I think it has like a 4.3 something, which I guess for Hill Farmstead isn't that huge, but people are appreciating it even though it's not barrel aged. Like most of your non-barrel aged Imperial Stouts, people don't really care that much about, at least for like, you know, being, you know, hyped up beer nerds and high ratings in terms of that stuff. But I kind of prefer a slightly lower alcohol non-barrel aged stout, because I just don't want to spend that much money. Barrel aging in stouts it's good, but I'm fine with having a little taste and then I don't want any more of it. This is one where I can enjoy the full glass. And maybe there's that little hint of licorice in there. But yeah, it's just a really good combination of savory, sweet, roasty flavors. It's really pleasant on the tongue, extremely well made and really well bottled. I'd give this one, yeah, 4.5 plus. Very well made. Oh, they do list the malts on here: pale, caramel, and chocolate, roasted barley, wheat, coffee. So wheat is listed last, but I think the wheat helps to give it some sort of a softer body probably, and maybe make it even more, I don't want to say bready, that's the most generic thing, but maybe it helps to smooth it out, make it seem a little bit more like malted milk balls and sort of candy sweet. But I haven't really thought about it much. Yeah, really good. I would think this is really worth trading for, even though it's not the sexy barrel aged version that's really expensive. I think I paid only $10 for this bottle, and that's an extremely good deal, I would say. You can rarely find an Imperial Stout of this quality. I guess now they're coming out with 16-ounce special cans of Imperial Stouts that are pretty darn good. So I guess that's comparable in price. But of course this has the Hill Farmstead Mystique, and it's definitely in a very small batch, but 4.5 plus definitely for this beer. Probably one of, if not my favorite, non-barrel aged stout. Probably give it higher ratings than any other stout. I'm being weird, so I should go. Bye bye.